So there are lots of different subjects you can choose, but we just need to know which one scales the best, and then which of the subject will bring you the highest ATAR. Okay, so let's have a look at the next page. So the core score versus ATA. So the core score is purely based on the performance, and then ATA is your position against everyone in the entire Canberra. So the core score is about students' performance against the standard, whereas ATA is about students' position against all other students. But just note here, the good performance doesn't guarantee a high position. So for example, you're doing math application. It doesn't mean if you get straight A's in every single session, you get a very high ATA. So you need to make sure you have good performance and good subject. This will guarantee you a high position. So when you're choosing your courses, it is super important for you to consider, first of all, okay, what you're good at and what you're interested in. You don't want to choose a subject you don't enjoy it at all. It will be a nightmare throughout 2 years. And if all those subjects you're interested in, the one is going to be your main majors, is just going to be the one with the highest scaling factor. Okay, and furthermore, you can think about what you might want to do when you leave school, when you go to universities. Okay, that might be another thing you want to choose your courses. But the most important thing here should be the scaling factor. Okay, so for ATA, ATA is Australian Territory Admission Rank. It ranges from 30 to 99.95 with an increment of 0.05. Yeah, so after 99.95, the next one should be 99.90, etc., etc. Okay, and you will never reach 100, and you will never. If someone tell you his ATA is 99.99, he's absolutely lying. Okay, so your ATA provides information about how well you have performed overall against all other students in entire Canberra, and also allow you to compare with other students who have completed different combination of course. It is a rank, not a mark. Okay, so for example, if you get the ATA of 70, so ATA of 70 means you beat 70% of students, you are on the top 30%. Okay. Yeah, so ATA of 99 means you beat 99% of the students in Canberra, and then you are on the top 1%. Okay, so when calculating your ATAs, so to get an ATA, you need at least 3 majors and 1 minor. Okay, and your ATA is based off the 3.5 units of your major. So each major, you need to make sure you complete the 3.5 units, and your minor, you need 2 units. So I just wrote it here. Every 8 weeks of study is 0.5 units. Yeah, so for if you want to get a minor, you need to complete a whole year of study. Okay, so around 32 weeks. However, for major, you just need to do 3 terms. Okay, so 3 terms, 1 whole year plus 3 terms, it would be a major. And then just note here, you don't need to count English towards your ATA. But I think that's just going to change very, very soon, because in HSC and in VCE, they need to count English towards their ATA. So I think Canberra is going to follow the Australia curriculum. So like later in the years, English has to count towards the ATA. But at this stage, yeah, you don't need to count English towards your ATA. Okay, yeah, so and then the next one is about subject selection scaling. So different courses have different groups of students. So if you want to compare different groups, you need to make sure it's fair. Okay, so what we do is we have something called the AST test. Okay, so AST test, so they calculate your marks and your position against all other students if they study the same thing. Okay. So once your marks are scaled, and we call that an aggregate mark. Yeah, aggregate mark. And aggregate mark is used to calculate your 3 majors and 1 minors. And then once everyone in ACT have the aggregate mark, your position would be determined, and then you have your ATA. Yeah. So if you want your ATA, okay, it's all based on this AST test. We call it ACT scaling test. So what do you need? You need your course score, which is your overall performance throughout the subject, and then scaling factors for that specific subject, and then those two multiply together, and then add up all the majors and minors would be your aggregate scores. Okay. So let's have a look at how to check your core scores first. So how do you check your overall performance throughout the subject? You go to the BSSS website. It's really easy to find. So you just Google BSSS, and then this website will show up. Okay, this website will show up, and then you click here, information for students. Okay, and then the first tab, profile online, and then depends on if you're from like Narbonne College, Canberra College, Dixon College, or Gungahlin College. So if you're from ACT Government College, you click the second one. However, if you're from Girls Grammar, Boys Grammar, or Canberra Grammar School, or Radford College, you just click this non-government independent students. Okay, and then once you click that, a tab will shows up, asks you the username and password. The username is 7-digit student ID, and then the password is whatever the password you log on for your school email. Okay, so once you put in the correct username and password, this page will show up. Okay, so it will be welcome, your name, and your student ID. Okay, and then what we do is we click here, academic record. Okay, so you click the third tab here, academic record. Okay, and then this page will show up. Okay, so what you do is you click this PDF copy, and then you can download the student record. Okay, so your academic record. So the course score is just based on all the scores you did throughout the sessions. Okay, throughout every semester of school. Just note the course score matters. This A, B, C, D, E doesn't really matter. Okay, so don't worry about if you get A, B, C, D, E or whatever. Just worry about these scores. Those are the scores actually going to count towards your ATARs. Okay. Yeah, so this is your overall performance, but remember your ATAR depends on your performance and also your subject. So which subject scales best? Okay. I can't tell you anything, but the BSSS website will tell you. Okay, so you go to the BSSS website. Instead of clicking information for students, you click here, Year 12 vocational data. Okay, and then this page will jump up, and then if you look at the last one, okay, so you click here Year 12 study for 2012, and then the last one 4I, okay, down the bottom, scaled score mean and standard deviation by course area. Okay, so I have already downloaded them into my computer. Okay, so here scaled scores. So I have downloaded all the scaled scores from 2012 until 2017. Okay, so we'll just look at some. Every single year it is different, but the general trend is exactly the same. Okay, so we'll have a look at the 2016, and we'll also have a look at the 2017 one. Okay, yeah. Okay, so for the 2017 one, you can see every single school is showing here. Australian National Universities, and here Birmingham School, and Canberra College, and Canberra Girls Grammar School. So every single school will show up here. Okay, let's just go to Narbonne College. Okay, so here is Narbonne College. Okay, Narbonne College. Yeah, so for Narbonne College, we'll have different subjects. Let's just have a look at which subject is better. Okay, so the one you're looking at here, scaled scores mean. Okay, you just need to look at this scaled scores mean. So scaled scores mean just tells you, because in Canberra, doesn't matter which school you are at, the average is usually all around 70, and then the lowest score is usually all around 40, and then the highest score is usually above 100 or roughly at 100. But a 70 in international schools or 70 in private schools, or a 70 in Narbonne College, it's all different. Okay, so although a student's getting 70 average in all different schools, but their ability is completely different. So this scaled scores mean just tells you if you get a 70 in all these schools, what scores will you get after the AST test. Okay, so this pretty much just tells you a score factor. So higher scaled score mean, or just tells you this subject is going to scale better compared to other subject. Okay. Yeah, so in Narbonne College we have English. The scaled score mean is 151. And for specialist math, the scaled score mean is 177. math method is 144.7. So you can see there's a big difference between specialist math, math method, and math application. That's why you never see anyone top ACT by doing math method. All the students top ACT or top their school is always the one doing double specialist math. In double specialist math, or so the best 4 subject you can look at the docs of every single year. It's usually the subject they do is double specialist math and physics, super high scaled score mean as well, and chemistry. So those 4 subjects you can see it give you a dramatic advantage compared to all the other subjects. Okay, it's so high. So even you get the average in those subjects, the scaled score factors will bring your ATAR super high. However, we can look at the 2016 scores, okay? Because I said every single year is different. So this is 2017. Now let's look at 2016. So in 2016, again, Abundant College, you can see specialist math is now 178, okay? So so although it's different, but there is not a big difference. So this is still 178. English last year, in 2017 is 151. Now it's 154. So you can see it's roughly the same. And then physics and chemistry again above 170. Okay, super high scaled scores. So this is about the scaled scores. Okay. And then in the end, when you graduate, you get Australia Capital Territory Year 12 certificate. Looks like this. Shows you all the subject you do. So as what I did English, specialist math, physics, chemistry as my 5 majors and lots of other random minors. So those are the 5 subjects, and then they calculate the scaled scores. They pick the best 4, and then however physics scaled scores lower than my double specialist math and chemistry. So 60% of the minor is going to count towards my ATAR. And then my major, which is double specialist math and chemistry, 100% count towards my ATAR. So you have your original scores multiplied by scaling factors and then multiplied by the weight. You get the weighted scaled scores. Add them up. This is the final aggregate score, okay, which is 800. So every single person in ACT will have an aggregate score, and then they just rank everyone in terms of their aggregate score. So the highest aggregate score would be 99.95, and then the next one would be 99.90, etc., etc. So you can see if you want to maximize your ATAR, you need to maximize your aggregate score, which first of all you need to have good performance. Also you need to make sure you choose the best subjects. Okay. So overall, just remember ATAR is overall rank, not a mark, and you need to choose the course you like and then you're good at, and then you just need to make sure you study hard. Okay, so thank you. If you like the video, please make sure you like and then leave a comment below if you have any questions. Thank you.